All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's trades here. Total today's P&L was a total of $52, and the big stock I traded today was VSEE. And in total today, had a really good trade, had a really good successful day, green day. So when you get one of those, you're always excited, you're always happy that it's a green day. And so today I'm going to walk you through the trade. I'm going to walk you through the stock I got and why I picked why I did get. So let's just jump into it now. Just get started here. First off, just looking at some of the metrics for the stock. We look at the float, 4.64 million. So that would be our supply. That's what we look at to see how much supply is available. And usually we want this below 20 million, and the less the better. So if it's like under a million, that's really good. That's awesome, because that means this stock is going to get bought and sold a lot of times. And if you look at this stock, we have 4.64 million and we have 47 million volume. So that means that this stock was roughly traded, probably bought and sold 10 times. You know, if you think about it, it was exchanged 10 times. So it was 10 times the volume of what it should be. And honestly, that's pretty good. And then you look at the average volume, right around a million. So, I mean, this is huge for this stock. So when it does something like this, that's way more volume than normal. So 47.44 million shares traded today on this particular stock. And then we look at the catalyst for this stock. I don't remember what it was exactly. VSEE partnership. Oh, is it partnership with Ava Robotics for telepresence innovation? So basically, they're putting more in robotics. They're going to be selling robots or something along that lines that goes to the intensive care units and ICUs and stuff like that. So obviously, it's going to be something big. It's a pretty big deal. So it's good. You know, we got a catalyst, and that's what's probably important there, is that we have some sort of catalyst. And overall, this stock, it had a yesterday, if I can find it here real quick, it actually punched up yesterday, right at closing yesterday, and did this big move in aftermarket. After it closed at 4 o'clock, it did this huge move right here. So if you were sitting there watching your computer, you probably might have seen this one happen. Had some really nice price action here on the front side of the move. And honestly, I don't really trade aftermarket hours and stuff like that, so I don't really pay attention to that. But I did watch a few videos of a few other people who were trading it, and it was kind of neat to watch, because some people did pretty good on this move right here, but I was not in on this at all. So, but I knew, since a lot of times when some of these stocks come in and after hours, that obviously means that there might be a continuation and there might be a move the next day, and that's exactly what I was expecting. Now at about 6 o'clock this morning, it started to move up a little bit, made a few moves in here. I mean, where they were trading, maybe, I mean, there wasn't a ton of volume at that point. Maybe, you know, even at these green candles here, maybe 9 to 23,000 shares at one given point. So nothing huge or anything like that. And then we look at coming into about 7 o'clock this morning. I'll try to show this a little better. But so at 7 o'clock here, you know, the stock was kind of trending downwards, but it wasn't going real. I mean, it punched down to around the 20 EMA. And then right at 7, just as I thought, I was kind of sitting there waiting with my finger on the trigger. And right at that point, this stock took off and shot up. I mean, almost instantly this thing went up, and it struggled a little bit, but in the end, it went from roughly a $6.31 all the way up to $7.13. So pretty big move there, almost a full dollar move right there in that one candle. And I captured as much of it as I could, held on as long as I could, and I think overall I got in at $6.39. Rode it all the way up to 680. I think I could have rode a little bit longer, but I jumped out just a touch early, I think, And yeah, but it is what it is. I made a good move on it, and that trade ended up transcending. I mean, the rest of the day, it really didn't pose a lot of more opportunities or setups that I could have actually taken a trade on. Maybe in here, this point right here might have been something. Problem with it was below VWAP. And usually when something's below VWAP, the bears are typically in charge, and it's going to be hard for it to make a big breakout until it gets above VWAP. And even though the MACD was open at that point, it just showed this, like it was struggling to get above VWAP the rest of the morning. I mean, you can see 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times it tried to come over VWAP and it just couldn't do it. And then as soon as the market opened, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It dropped. I mean, it just totally tanked after that and just went flat for the rest of the day. So there was really no more trades on it after that point. It was just that one big trade right there, and that was it. I looked at a few other stocks today. MKDW. I mean, this stock had huge move early on in the morning, about, I'm going to say 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, roughly 5 o'clock in the morning, it moved up. Went from like, oh gosh, 2 something all the way up to like $7, which was a huge move if you were up early and, you had to trade early before work or anything like that. As a part-time trader like myself, that was a great move to be a part of, and you could have done it. Honestly though, I'm not up that early. I get up at around 6:30, and I try to be at my computer about 5 to 10 minutes before trading, so that way I can scan a few things, just see what's going on and what kind of stocks I really want to pick and choose for the day. And honestly, this one just wasn't on my radar as much today. I mean, it at about 8 o'clock this morning, I did this little bump right here. Wasn't nothing huge. But it was, again, struggling to get above VWAP again, and it just didn't have that momentum behind it. And at the open, it just traded flat. I mean, it just wasn't a very peppy stock, I would say. One where I would just be like, it's just, we don't make any money when things like this travel sideways and don't do anything. So I kind of left that one alone and didn't move on it. And a few other stocks I looked at, ADGM. I mean, this one was just traded so thinly. There was hardly anybody trading it. So when you start seeing things like this, where these stocks are like kind of flatline like that, that means there's just not a lot of volume there. So that means it's going to be harder to get in and out of positions. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to trade stocks like this. If you see this kind of stuff, you just kind of want to say, well, if somebody starts trading, it starts moving, maybe. And then we get to AKAN. I looked at this one as well, and it had some bigger moves in it. Honestly, I just didn't trade them simply because I made the one good trade for the day, and I thought I don't want to go any further with it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So, and that one actually did. You might have been able to trade this one. It was a bit choppy as far as a pattern goes. It wasn't the cleanest pattern, I'll be honest, because we had a lot of these topping tails on these particular candles right in here. So it would have been hard to trade this, and it would have been, not the easiest thing to trade. As far as the MACD goes, it wasn't open extremely far. So that meant, this isn't going to be perfect as a trade. And on top of that, I mean, it wasn't trading within a huge range. I mean, we're only talking about 45 to 50 cents in this entire range right here. So not a huge range either, only because it's pretty much a cheaper stock to buy. They usually don't have big ranges like that. So, maybe in the future it'll present some opportunities. I think it had some news on it. I can't remember quite what it was, but it did present some news. And that was fine. It just it was up 34%. AK and rises Friday alongside pre-market trading of the cannabis company shares this morning. Let's see, increase of trading volume becomes without clear. Okay, so it didn't have any clear news actually, but it started pushing up. And stocks like that do that sometimes. And for no reason, I don't know why. And I try to stay clear of that if it doesn't have a clear catalyst, simply because I don't want to get sucked into something that might be a pump and dump scheme or something like that. I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe somebody's putting like an email out there or something, and a lot of people are jumping in and buying it all of a sudden. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I decided, you know what? It seems like there's a lot of selling. The bears are beating these stock prices right back down because they're not they got topping tails. Topping tails are usually a sign that the bears are trying to push everything back down, and you really don't want to jump in on those stocks a lot of times because you don't want to get chewed up and spit out for obvious reasons. So there you have it. Those was stocks. Now I did have a couple other trades the last few days. Let's go back to those. I did do some trades at the end of July there. I didn't get any videos put together on them. I just didn't have time. But the 30th and 31st, obviously, let's see here. So the 19th, or the 30th, I lost $19 and I lost another $52 on there. But I still finished the month green, I think, with $45.85 in total. My success rate still is not where I would like to see it, 37.04%. So 10 trades that were green, 17 red. Let's see. Success rate for the week, 34%. Lost 64.25 this week. But, 2 really good green weeks this month, so can't complain. Finished with a profit ratio of 1.84 to 1, so not bad. So keeping it close to that 2 to 1 profit ratio, that risk reward ratio. Wanting to see my winners twice as big as my losers. So $2 for my winner, $1 for my loser. I might create a video talking a little bit more about how profit ratio works, but very important part to trading and everything and how it works. Overall, can't complain. This month was a struggle in a way, but things are moving on. We're getting things straightened out. We look at the month of August so far. I had a little small, not so good. I actually was up $4 on the day, and I took a second trade, lost $11, and went in the hole $7. So not a big deal, not a big loss. Keeping them small. I think that's one of my big goals for this month, is just to keep the losses small, keep the wins big. Even if I do have some losses for the day, I'm also just putting in also just the day's trades. I'm not putting in each individual trade. I'm just going to show what the day is and say this is what I traded and how many shares I totally traded and the profit or loss that I had on it. So overall, so far to start the month, I'm going to have 50% success ratio with $45 of profit and a 7.42 to 1, which is excellent so far to start the month. 50% success ratio. Can't complain for the first 2 days of this month. Still got 4 more full weeks to go here in the month of August. So hopefully we can turn things around, really get things going in the right direction. And maybe in a few months here, I'll be trading with a real account and get out of my paper trading account and into actual real money here. So hopefully that's going to be coming soon, and we'll be talking more about that as we get closer to that. So hope you guys find this helpful. If you'd like to learn more about what I'm doing, follow along with me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel here and watch along as you learn how to trade with me. So definitely do that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.